the minutes, and I'd entertain a motion to approve the December 20th meeting minutes. So moved?
Second.
Seconded, moved by Katina, seconded by Alicia. Are there any comments on the minutes? Okay, all those in favor, please indicate by raising your hand. We have Ilda with us online. Ilda, do you approve the minutes? Okay, great. Thank you. So public comment. Is there anybody from the public who would like to speak during public comment? Just raise your hand. I don't see anybody online. Okay. So I just want to welcome everybody to the new year, 2024. We have a lot of work to do together as a Board of Ed, and we are very excited to have members of the North Windham School community with us this evening. I hope everybody on the board has put the dates for these meetings and the committee meetings in their calendar for 2024, including the retreat date. We don't want to get to the fall when we get to the retreat and then 5 of us say, oh, I never put it in my calendar and I can't make it. So, so first thing on the agenda after that is what's cool in our schools featuring North Windham, and I don't know who's going to kick us off.
I think Principal Majak is going to kick it off for us.
Now, good evening. Good evening, Dr. Youngberg and members of the Board of Education. I'm Amy Majak, the principal at North Windham School, and this is Emily Mallon, our assistant principal. When Dr. Youngberg asked us to highlight and send a little presentation or bring a presentation about what are some fun things and celebrations at North Windham School, we found it really hard to choose just one because there are so many fun things and great things happening. So we did a little collage. One of the wonderful things that we have are student ambassadors. So in 5th grade, we have 2 students from each class who are nominated for various reasons, but mostly leadership skills. They're nominated by their peers and by their teachers. Our math coach, Carrie Catino, I'll introduce in a second, is their advisor along with one of our social workers, Miss Campanelli, and they meet weekly and they discuss different items that they're going to do. I will bring Mrs. Cotino up so she can just share a little bit about that, and then we'll start with the presentation. So we've created a presentation, and the ambassadors will present it and narrate it for us in both Spanish and English.
Hello, everyone. I'm Carrie Cotino. Again, I'm the math coach and the advisor for our wonderful student ambassadors who were chosen this year by their teachers and peers, and they are our leaders in our school. And they're going to share with you some of the fun things that they have planned this year and that some of the things that we've already done. So without further ado, I'd like to introduce.
Talk about their pins.
Oh, that's right. So they're all wearing a Bobcat pin, which they received at our pinning ceremony in October, and it makes them recognizable around our school, especially for our little ones who look up to them, and especially the 4th graders who really want to be student ambassadors next year. So they're all wearing their pins tonight. And at this
And
time,
sometimes we do have boy ambassadors. This
yes,
year,
this year we just
there were none. It was just all ladies.
so this is unique. Anything else I'm leaving out? I think they're going to talk to you a little bit more. I'd rather have them share with you. Okay, so Ivana Benitez, come on up. Valeria Rios Hernandez, Andrea Robles Gomez, Miley Lamotte, Alicia Hernandez Rodriguez, and Aubrey Vasquez. And I'll leave this here in case you guys need it.
If you want to stand with your partners and then come right behind. So Andrea comes behind and then have your partner with you.
Our teachers and staff truly care about us and go above and beyond so we get to be our best selves and fulfill our interests.
Nuestros maestros y personal realmente se preocupan por nosotros y van más allá para que podamos ser lo mejor de nosotros mismos y explorar nuestros intereses.
We are the North Wyndham School student ambassadors. We were chosen to be student leaders in our building. Our job is to be role models and spread kindness at school and in the community. This year, we baked breads for the veterans, organized a food drive, and planned spirit days. We also have students practice their multiplication facts at school.
Somos los estudiantes embajadores de la escuela de North Wyndham. Fuimos elegidos para ser líderes estudiantiles de nuestro edificio. Nuestro trabajo es ser modelos a seguir y esparcir la amabilidad en la escuela y en la comunidad. Este año horneamos panes para los veteranos, organizamos una colecta de alimentos y planificamos días de vestimenta divertida. También ayudamos a los estudiantes a practicar sus operaciones matemáticas en la escuela.
This year, Compañeros, our duolingo language program, is celebrating its 30th year. These students have 2 teachers and are learning in English and Spanish. Each day, being bilingual is our superpower.
Este año, compañeros, nuestro programa de lenguaje dual celebra su año número 30. Estos estudiantes tienen 2 maestros y están aprendiendo en inglés y español todos los días. Ser bilingüe es nuestro superpoder.
I think we're waiting for our slideshow to catch up. Go ahead.
At North Wyndham School, our teachers motivate us to do our best. We've had over 155 students decorate cookies for mastering their multiplication facts up to 5. Students who master all their facts to 9 will choose a treat from an ice cream truck in June. We also have random acts of fun. Some of the activities have been Minute to Win It and Name That Tune.
En la escuela de North Wyndham, nuestros maestros nos motivan a hacer lo mejor que podemos. Tuvimos más de 155 estudiantes que decoraron galletas por dominar las tablas de multiplicación hasta el 5. Los estudiantes que dominen todas las tablas hasta el 9 elegirán un regalo de un camión de helados en junio. También tenemos actos al azar de diversión. Algunas de las actividades han sido Minute to Win It and Name That Tune.
Every month, we have a spirit day. We get to dress silly. Our teachers and students have the best spirit.
Cada mes tenemos un día vestimenta divertida. Nos vestimos alocadamente. Nuestros profesores y alumnos tienen el mejor entusiasmo.
We have the best playground. We have a racetrack painted on our blacktop called Cameron's Way, so that all North Wyndham students can play during recess. We love to play in the field or hang out with our friends by the playscape.
Tenemos el mejor parque infantil. Tenemos una pista de carreras pintada en nuestro asfalto llamada Cameron's Way, para que todos los estudiantes de North Wyndham School puedan jugar durante el recreo. Nos encanta jugar en el campo o pasar el rato con nuestros amigos en el parque de juegos.
After school every week, our teachers volunteer to coach boys and girls in the 5th grade in a basketball clinic. We are learning to work together as a team and take our best shots. This year, alumni sports donated t-shirts for our team.
Todas las semanas después de la escuela, nuestros maestros se ofrecen como voluntarios para entrenar a niños y niñas de 5º grado en una clínica de baloncesto. Estamos aprendiendo a trabajar juntos como equipo y hacer nuestros mejores tiros. Este año, Alumni Sports donó camisetas para nuestro equipo.
Our kindergartners love to jump on the sensory path when they need to.
Nuestros niños del kindergarten les encanta saltar por el camino sensorial cuando necesitan moverse.
There was a video that went with that. It must not be coming through.
Let's go to the next slide.
Each year, we have a huge Hispanic night, talent show, math, and reading night. And this year, we had our first winter carnival, along with games, dancing, arts, and crafts. Our Bobcat helped raise $800 for CCMC by pieing our bravest teachers in the face.
Cada año tenemos la gran noche de herencia hispana, evento de talentos, noche de matemáticas y lectura, y este año tuvimos por primera vez el carnaval de invierno. Además de juegos, bailes, artes y manualidades, nuestro Bobcat ayudó a recaudar $800 para CCMC, tirando pasteles a nuestros maestros más valientes. On Fridays, we have a Bobcat huddle in the gym to recognize students for their behavior, academics, and attendance. It's exciting to hear our names called and have the whole gym clap for us. We also get recognized other times, like when our class earns a special guest reader like North Windham Bobcat.
Los viernes tenemos un Bobcat Huddle en el gimnasio para reconocer a los estudiantes por su comportamiento, rendimiento académico y asistencia. Es emocionante escuchar nuestros nombres y que todo el gimnasio nos aplauda. También nos reconocen en otras cosas, como cuando nuestra clase gana un lector invitado especial como North Windham Bobcat.
Finally, what's cool about our school is our teachers who make learning fun. They are silly with us and they do fun lessons and they care about us.
Finalmente, lo bueno de nuestra escuela son nuestros maestros que hacen que el aprendizaje sea divertido. Son alegres con nosotros, dan lecciones divertidas y se preocupan por nosotros. Any questions?
How do you like being student leaders?
Oh, it's amazing. I love it at my school. Our school is very kind. All of the staff is very kind. We learn a lot and mostly we have a lot of fun.
Anybody else want to say anything? I don't want to put you on the spot.
What do you love about the student ambassador?
Miley said we get to help out with stuff.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Nice to help the kids, our food drive. Yep, they're all giving back now, so they're helping teachers and students in the classes, in their classrooms with their. Yep, they bake breads for the veterans, which you saw. They have little jobs right now, so some of them are helping in the morning when they come in. They work with the third graders on their multiplication facts. They're working with the art teacher to set up for his first class, which is second grade, every morning. And we're all also going to help with reading power words. They're going to work with the students. And right, Alicia delivers our healthy snack every morning. And they're also going to be presenting out at our Bobcat huddles to talk more about the behind the scenes work that they're doing. So our community is very lucky to have these ladies. Yes.
Thank you so much, student ambassadors. Did a
Thank
great
you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
My fellow board members are going to be tired of hearing me say this, but as the mom of 3 Compañeros graduates, I'm always very happy to hear from the Compañeros students. Thank you for coming tonight.
So just as we've done in the past, you're welcome to stay for the board meeting, but please don't feel like you have to. So I don't know if you have homework to do tonight or things you have going on outside of school, but just wanted to let you know.
And thank you to the parents who brought all the students.
Go Bobcats.
Bye. Okay, well, thank you. That was a great way to start our meeting tonight. Alicia, did you want to say something?
I want to say something. 3 of those kids were my preschool students.
Bye. You got them off to a good start, Alicia.
Yep.
So now we're on to the superintendent's report, and I'm going to hand it over to you, Tracy.
Sounds good. If I haven't seen you, Happy New Year to the board members. I know some of you I saw at our Three Kings celebration on Saturday. The first thing on my report is just to let the board know that we have a professional development day coming up on February 2nd. It is a full day for our staff members. Students do not have school. We run 2 sessions, an AM session and a PM session, running between 8:30 and 3:15. We are offering a number of sessions related to school safety, equity, student learning, and obviously continuing our work around reducing absenteeism. I don't know if there's any questions specific to Professional Development Day.
Anybody have any questions? No, we look forward to hearing how it goes.
We will give you an update after that day, absolutely. Next on my list is just giving the board an update on educator evaluation. The State Department of Education is pushing out a model plan that's aligned to the guidelines that I provided in the board packet. They hope to have the model plan available to districts either at the end of February or in March. We are in the process of contracting with EastCon to provide our Professional Development and Evaluation Committee, or PDEC, as they call it at the state, some formal training that will help us to align our evaluation process to the state's new guidelines. I don't know if there's any questions specific to educator evaluation.
Go ahead.
Is it,
Tianisi?
I have a question. Is it when you say educator, that means teachers or anyone that is a paraprofessional who are
So
the-
this particular plan is related to the certified staff members, so it would be your teachers, your support personnel, your administrators, anyone who holds a certificate.
That's excellent.
If there aren't any other questions, I'll keep going. Next up on my report is your biweekly check-in on attendance and discipline. At the last board meeting, there was a request to have information related to the unique students involved in the behavioral actions or incidents that were occurring. So I provided you with that data, and I'm happy to talk more through it. In terms of the biweekly check-in, all of our schools are showing increased attendance rates. We are seeing a slight reduction in the number of behavioral incidents, but we are seeing a slight increase in and out of school suspensions when compared to the same time last year. I have had discussions with our principals about why this might be, that we're seeing fewer incidents, but more in and out of school suspensions. And it really does seem to come down to some significant behavioral challenges. And they, feel like in order to keep the community safe, those are the consequences that have to be assigned. I don't know if there's specific questions around either of the reports or the unique student information.
Mary first?
Yeah, I mean, I'm just wondering with, at the middle school, Carlos de la Barrera is full-time there this year, and there is an additional, principal. So, I would really expect to see the numbers look better, and, I think 11.76% is a significant number, and 66 of those students, are having their education impacted in various ways. Are there restorative justice practices in place? It feels that the intensity of, focus on climate should have some impact by now.
So again, with the middle school, because they have been on the state's list and it's a focus area for the district, we process through all of the behavioral incidents that occur at the middle school. Actually go through month by month when I sit with Mr. De La Barrera for his biweekly check-ins. And they are really trying to just use in-school and out-of-school suspensions for severe behavioral issues. They are really trying to reduce how often they're excluding students from their classrooms. They really are. And if I could provide for the board the information about some of the things that happen with the students who are involved in this data, if you would like to see more information, I can give that to you. I process it through with him at least monthly, sometimes twice a month.
Would anybody like to see that information without,
Minus any student
minus
names,
any,
right.
right, any way to identify who those students might be? What before we get that question, Dr. Youngberg made the offer, do people want that information?
Certainly.
Okay, thank you. Okay, Yanisi?
I have a question. I'm just wondering, maybe there's something that we need to investigate deeper, but I feel that it seems like it's a certain group of kids in certain range of ages, and also thinking about the consequences of COVID and being in the house, being interrupted with their education, especially at that age. That development is very important. I think that has a lot to do with what's happening, because if you see it's only at that, if you compare, that not happen, you know what I mean? Like, I think there's some information out there that might be new, might be, that we need to look into it, or because I think we need to consider, because as an adult, as a professional, I feel that I don't behave well after that in my jobs because of the change of the routine. So I'm thinking maybe just, to put it in your mind that might have something to do with behavioral issues in the school, or, in overall.
Thank you.
Appreciate that the report, although I cannot open my documents, included, single events and then those who are repeated events. I would like to also encourage us to, or I would like to get information if possible about what type of interventions, prevention interventions, and then group interventions maybe for these kids. I agree with Dianisi that post-COVID, we all know that all of us have suffered. Thank you, my friend. Greatly. And yes, so
Thank you.
So based on the comments that we've heard, it sounds like we can dig a little deeper, and as board members, we can learn more about what's driving, what kind of incidents are happening, and maybe some more insights as to what might be driving those incidents. That would help us all figure out whether there's anything more our district can be doing.
can I add one,
Sure.
like, what's the type of behaviors?
Well, I think that's what we're asking.
Yes,
Yeah.
yeah.
We'll get you that information. Next up is just bringing the board up to speed on the Three Kings Day celebration that took place this past Saturday. Definitely was a success for the Family and Community Engagement Office. The family liaisons once again did an amazing job, and several of our board members attended and even volunteered for us. Alicia was one of our volunteers, so was Paula, who isn't with us tonight, and Katina was there dancing, being happy. But some of the pictures are there for you to see. It was really a wonderful event, very well planned, well executed, and everyone seemed to enjoy themselves. So
I have a question.
Mhm.
I heard from the communities that it was an amazing event. They all, we all look forward for it. And is the event organized by the liaison, or is the town of Wyndham organizing it? Because I heard that the town of Wyndham is taking credit.
Robinson and the team.
Robinson Camacho's department, his family liaisons, do the work of organizing the event. We do get some support from the town, so we want to definitely thank the town for their support, but it's definitely the district's event.
I didn't hear it. I read it on the newspaper.
Oh, yeah. Don't believe everything you read.
Katina?
In fact, it was phenomenal and the kids were having fun. The credit to the town is that I personally requested the presents that they had left over from Christmas to come to us. And that's because
Oh, wonderful.
I ransacked DCF closets to get presents for Christmas. So, it was like a whole community event and effort.
And you'll notice in the pictures there, Representative Johnson was there, Mayor DeVivo, Dennis O'Brien. I don't know the new councilman's name.
DJ Shock.
Thank you. So, yeah, DJ Shock, right. Yeah. Any other questions about Three Kings? Next up is just to let the board know or remind the board that we're in the midst of budget season. We're in the process of meeting with all of our principals and department leaders. Rita's working hard, crunching all those numbers so that we can get that budget book produced and out to you. February 9th seems really fast, but that's what's on the calendar, so we'll make it work, right, Rita? And then we have the budget workshops scheduled for February 21st and March 6th, and they'll be here, as will all of our board meetings moving forward.
Right, it's really important that all board members put those additional meetings on their calendars now, because we are required under town charter to hand the budget over to the town by the 15th of March. So we don't have leeway. And we should all sort of be on our toes in case something happens and we have to schedule yet another special meeting or something to get the budget off in time, because sometimes the workshops aren't enough. And one year at least, weather canceled one of the meetings and we had to have a special meeting in order to approve the budget to be sent off. And the staff put a lot of work into this, along with all the different schools. And it's really important that we fully understand it before we take it off to the Board of Finance and the voters for approval in May.
Next up, last on my list is information from the Equity and Multilingual Department, and the director is actually in the audience, Beth Brunet. She's using some creative ways to communicate information to her department staff, and we included a copy of their latest newsletter as well as an infographic that's designed to sort of help the staff and the district as a whole to understand the work we're doing around increasing educator diversity. And some of this information came from discussions that were happening in our leads training that Katina is a part of. So I don't know if there's any questions or if you need time to digest the infographic and the newsletter, but we're open to answer any questions either tonight or in the future.
People have any questions or comments based on the report that was in the packet, or we can always set aside more time to talk about this at a future meeting.
It's beautiful. Thank you. I mean, it's so well done.
I actually thought you might like it, Katina, because it's very simple and appealing to the eye, and it's a lot of information that shows where we are. Thank you.
I think this would be really worth sharing with the with the local media and maybe we could get a story about the diversity in our schools.
How's that sound, Beth?
If you need help, let me know. I just got contacted by our new contact. So,
From the Chronicle?
yeah,
I think she's actually, or was earlier on our call. on the
right.
Zoom.
So she's looking for ideas. So,
This would be a good one, absolutely.
Yes, I would like to mention that tomorrow I will be recording the radio announcement with Colin at the
at WILI.
Yes, so I'm gonna be for compañeros.
Oh,
The
good.
bilingual. I just want to let you know. So when you hear me in the radio, that's me.
Ah, great. Will you be doing that on a regular basis?
No, just one time thing.
Oh, okay.
Just
Okay.
like a 3 sentence, maybe 4 sentences announcing the opening of enrollment.
Okay. The lottery, you mean?
Lottery, gotcha.
Yeah, okay.
Yes.
Wonderful.
Important stuff, for sure.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Katina.
For the board information, also, Susan Johnson and Dennis O'Brien has invited me in particular, but I'm inviting, all of you, Beth, to, come to the radio program to talk about the Bill of Rights. Is that, yeah, that the State Department of Education has, approved and, taken on for, dual language learners. Did I say that correctly? English learners. Thank you. English learners. So that is a new right, concept, and I don't know much about it, but I will study it, and it will also be on the radio.
There was a good story on that in CT Mirror, I think this week that I shared with Tracy, and maybe we can share it with everybody on the board because it is there are new requirements coming down the road. Our district is probably much better off than a lot of districts in the state as far as communicating with the families, but
I will
there's
definitely.
always more we can do, I'm sure.
Absolutely. I'll definitely share the article with the entire board, and Beth and I will work on how to support your invitation there, Katina. Sure.
Right.
Or, yeah, absolutely.
Since it's not a special meeting, I'd like to just add one more item under reports here, if possible. It's not really, I should have said it under the board chair report, but I just want to remind board members that the co-chair of the education committee in the legislature is coming to our district on Friday, January. Oh, it's being changed again?
Yes, and it's actually been rescheduled to February 13th, and we'll put out an official invite and information, but February 13th is the new date.
Okay, well, it's really important that we have a good representation of board members at on that morning. It's going to be like a morning tour and 10 to 2.
Yeah, it's basically the same schedule we had before. Instead of starting at 9 something, it's starting at 10 o'clock, and I think it's scheduled to go to 2, which includes lunch that the students at the high school are going to make for everyone.
Right. Representative Curry is a former board chair in East Hartford, and comes from a sort of a political family in town. He is a real go-getter, and really education is extremely important to him. It's very important that I think he understand what's going on, the special things that are going on here in our district, as well as the needs, because he's in a position to advocate for us at the legislature, along with May Flexer and Susan Johnson. So it's important that he get to know us, I think.
Agreed.
Okay, anything else? I'm sorry I announced the wrong date. I'm glad I know the new date. It's just a moving target. So committee reports. Brendan, I'll hand it over to you for school planning and design. His mic isn't working. Yeah.
Thank you. Oh, wow.
There we
Yeah,
go.
there is a difference.
Brendan, could you start over? Because I think members
Absolutely.
of the public won't know what you talked about for the
Yes,
first few
I
minutes.
will be happy to start over. So we met back on December 21st, right after the last board meeting. First topic of discussion was the elementary school consolidation. There was some discussion about how the town wanted to proceed, whether we needed to set up a building committee before we keep going any further, or we need to do the cost estimation, that sort of thing. So just as a follow-up to that, after the school planning design meeting, we did meet with Jim Rivers, Matt Vertifay, Mayor DeVivo, Tyler Griffin, another member of the Board of Finance whose name is escaping me.
Marianne Daly.
Marianne Daly, thank you. I think that was everyone that was there, just to kind of discuss the next steps, and the town's going to start looking into forming the building committee as we also look into getting the cost estimations done. After that, we went into facilities updates, the middle school elevator project. The first elevator refurbishment is complete and open. The other one has been shut down and the refurbishment process has started. Then we brought up two issues regarding the high school that were brought up by Dr. Galucci. One was the parking situation here at the high school. Right now, that really is outside of school planning and design, since there's still an active building committee for the high school that's working on that. The other thing was the long-term maintenance of the HVAC systems, and we had a quick discussion about the steps the district is taking to find qualified technicians to be able to service those systems for the day-to-day maintenance, as well as what the contractual requirements will be going forward to have someone come in when projects are needed on these systems.
Thank you, Brendan. Does anybody have any questions or additions? So I do want to make it clear to folks, based on Brendan's report, that we are moving forward with all the steps that we need to go through to get to a point where we could have a referendum vote on elementary school, consolidated elementary school construction. And the timeline keeps changing a little bit on that, but we got a lot more clarity when we had our meeting about what the state requirements are. So
Correct.
everything's moving. Let's just put it that way. At some point, we'll be able to go out and, have public forums and talk to members of the public about what this would be. And because we're going to need the voters to support it at some point.
A quick question. I was not able to attend one of the meetings, so at some point can at least I get an idea of what are the requirements that the state puts out for all of us to understand and be able to be competent if somebody asks.
Yeah, we
Thanks.
can, probably what the best thing to do would be well, not just the copy of the legislation, but maybe an outline of the major steps and who has responsibility, because it's a town project. And so that's why it was important for us to have that clarifying discussion with the town and the Board of Finance folks, so they can help us move it along. Correct, Brendan?
Correct.
So if there's nothing else on School Planning and Design, Finance and Audit canceled its meeting for 6 o'clock this evening. So Mark is not here tonight, so I don't think there's anything to report.
No, except that we have added as an action item, the approval of a budget transfer.
So we
But-
probably should have Rita come up and report on the current budget transfer that we could take action on this evening. How's that sound?
Sure. So on page, in your packet, on page 7 of the budget transfers, there's not that many, but I had to ask for the one that's over 100,000 for transportation to be approved. And that was because we did a review of the transportation, and it's just a switch from regular ed into special ed transportation. There's a little difference of $5,000 because a type 2 bus was switched to a type 1 bus. So that's what that transfer is all about. Do you have any questions on the other transfers?
Mary?
Well, it's actually just maybe a clarification on the transportation transfer in the sense of what is the impact on the regular buses, so moving from regular transportation.
So it was just a coding error. It was coded to regular. It should have been coded to special ed. That's all it was.
So the total amount you're asking for is the 154,755?
Correct.
Okay. So when we get to action items, that's what we would be making the motion on. Does anybody have any questions for Rita while she's here at the podium? Go ahead. Oh, sorry, Mary.
You mean in general on finance? Rita, I just, last meeting, we discussed the fact that it's hard to close out certain accounts because of the town audit and some various, could we just have bullet points about what actually needs to happen? So we can actually work with the town or find out how to remedy this situation that has gone on for a while. So what would be the steps? Why are certain accounts, why are we having trouble? So we are trying to satisfy auditors for state and federal funding in education, and they're not finishing their town audit, so.
Yeah, I can give you some bullet points of what holds up versus the soft post versus a hard post on the budgets, if you'd like.
That would.
Thank you.
That's a great point, Mary. And for the Dionisi, who's new to the board, and some of the folks who don't come to the finance committee meetings on a regular basis, we have consistently had issues with the town tying up its end of things, and particularly the audit. And so we're trying to endeavor on our finance committee to be better advocates for the school district on that front. Does that make sense?
And just to confirm, they closed the books, but the audit is not done.
Thank you, Rita. Okay, so now we're on to action items, and we have 2 items to take action on this evening. The first one is I would entertain a motion to approve the Natchog field trip to Southwick Zoo on May 7th.
So moved.
Motion made by Brendan. Who will second it? Dionisi seconds it, the motion that's on the table. Any questions, discussion? I always see these field trips and wish I could go on some of them. I know.
We could, try to get you in a chaperone. We can make this happen.
So all those in favor of approving the motion that's on the floor for the field trip, please raise your hand. Okay, it's unanimous. And then I would entertain a motion to approve a budget transfer of $154,755.
So move.
Second. Moved by Alicia, seconded by Katina. Any discussion? All those in favor, please indicate by raising your hand. It's unanimous. Thank you. Is there anything under public comment? Is there anybody who would like to speak? Seeing and hearing nothing, I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
I move, we move.
Thank you. At 7:47.